In this next example, Dr. Latham elaborates on why this approach works and does so with people of all ages.
Consider this response to a child's misbehavior. We'll suppose the child is hitting a brother or sister. Parent: you knock that off this instant, or so help me, I'll just let you know how it feels to be hit by someone bigger than you. Why do you keep hitting? You know very well you're not supposed to do that. What's it going to take to get that into your thick skull? I just don't know what I'm going to do with you. Now let's analyze that. Though the hitting was wrong, responding this way is worse because it allowed the child's behavior to get the parent caught in 5 of the 8 most common traps that parents get themselves into, which are, number 1, threats. I'll let you know how it feels. Threatening a child with some sort of severe, painful, or harsh act on the parent's part assures no long-lasting beneficial effects. Trust me on that. Second, questioning. Why do you keep hitting? Questioning a child about his or her inappropriate behavior is useless because it virtually never produces a worthwhile answer. The most probable answers, I don't know, or she started it, or I hate her, don't give the slightest clue to how to solve the problem, so just don't ask. Third, logic. You know very well you're not supposed to do that. Logic, like arguing, is futile because it finds us telling our children things they already know. Now, parents, take a note of this. Never tell a child something he or she already knows. It makes parents look foolish when they dwell on the obvious. Fourth, despairing. I just don't know what I'm going to do with you. Despairing parents are beaten parents. Anger is almost always followed by despair as our countenance falls. The child has learned nothing about how he or she should behave. The only thing the child has learned is that you have a lot to learn. Fifth, sarcasm. What's it going to take to get it into your thick skull? Well, no further comment is necessary on why we shouldn't do that. There is a better way. It's called stop, redirect, reinforce, and it goes like this. We'll use the same scenario that I used before. A child is hitting a younger brother or sister. First, set the stage for problem solving by being calm and moving close to the child. Before saying a word, look the child right in the eyes for a couple of seconds. Next, with a calm, controlled, soft voice, say, no, that behavior is not appropriate here. The encounter will then play out very nearly like this. Child: but he started it. Why do I always get the blame? It's his fault. Parent: perhaps you are correct. That's not good either. But hitting others is not appropriate in this family. Child: well, why don't you tell him? This isn't fair. Parent: I'm sure you honestly feel that way. Nevertheless, what do we expect of you, even when your brother bugs you? Child: Dad, this isn't fair. He started it. I was only protecting myself. Can't I even protect myself? Parent: Son, though it might not seem fair, what do I expect of you? Regardless of how he behaves, how should you behave? Child: I'm not supposed to hit, but it isn't fair. Parent: That's right. In this house, we keep our hands and feet to ourselves, even when we are angry. Good for you. The parent then pats the child on the back, smiles, and goes on about his or her business. The behavior has been stopped and redirected through self-instruction. The child has told himself, I'm not supposed to hit. Next, wait for 2 or 3 minutes to pass. The chances are very good that the child will be able to keep his hands and feet to himself for that long. Then casually and briefly as you walk past the child, say, thanks, son. You're doing a great job staying calm. I'm proud of you. Now here is why this method works and why others don't. First, the message to the child is instructive rather than prohibitive. That is, emphasis is placed on what the child should do rather than on what the child should not do. Keep hands and feet to yourself rather than don't hit. Next, the child self-instructs. That is, the child tells the parent how he is supposed to behave. We know that if we can get children to describe how they are to behave, we increase the chances that they will behave that way. Next, the focus is on appropriate behavior rather than inappropriate behavior. Rather than trying to punish inappropriate behavior out of the child, appropriate behavior is being reinforced into the child. And lastly, rather than being angry, the parent is being empathetic and understanding and direct. I'm sure you honestly feel that way. Nevertheless, what do we expect of you? The focus is off such irrelevant, insoluble issues as fairness, who started it and who is at fault, and puts the matter squarely where it should be. That behavior is not appropriate. What do I expect of you?